Greetings from Costa Rica, and thank you very much for joining me and Camille Bourlette. Today we're talking about one of Guanacaste's most interesting or important gated communities, Hacienda Pinilla. We'll be going over sort of the history of real estate in this gated community and what we've seen before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after. We will also talk about the real estate currently available, the inventory that you're seeing there now. And our expert, Camille, is going to give you tips on strategy for getting the best value there and really making sure that if you're interested in Hacienda Pinilla, you're going to make a wise investment. Before we get started, folks, I did want to mention, if you are interested in real estate here in Guanacaste, myself and Camille, we serve the areas that range from Playa Potrero all the way down to Playa Junquial. This picture is going to have my picture on it, but consider this for Camille as well. That includes Tamarindo, Grande, Langosta, and the places in between, all of those big tourism hubs. Camille, let me at least introduce yourself before I keep chatting.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. Thank you again for the invite. I always enjoy being here with you, Matt. I'm Camille Bourlette. I'm French originally, joined Coldwell Banker Pacific Realty in 2022, and I've been living here for 15 years now, and raised 2 kids here, had some businesses, bought, built, sold. So I'm very happy to be at your service for the good real estate choices in the area.
Excellent. Her email address is right here, Camille@cbpacificrealty.com. Pablo Arias, it's awesome to see you joining us today, an absolute celebrity. Entry point right now for an investment in Hacienda Pinilla. What would you say the number is, just to get started with his question?
Yes.
The entry point for investment, I'm going to tell you, Pablo, there's actually the lowest priced sale, $650 right now.
$575 for a 2-bedroom townhouse in Palma Real.
Wow, $575. So anyway, we're going to be talking about inventory, pricing, and more later. Pablo, greatly appreciate you joining us.
Hi, Pablo.
Back on the channel sometime soon. Yeah, absolutely. Also great to have Burke, who will soon be joining our community here in Junquial when they get their home built. So if you have questions, feel free to post them in the chat, whether you're watching live or later. Always be sure to hit that subscribe button because I'm here every week giving great information about Costa Rica real estate. And be sure to like our video as well because every little bit helps with Google. First of all, Camille, would you please give us just a quick general overview? Hacienda Pinilla in general, what is it? And how did, give us a little bit of information. And as Camille explains, we're going to look at a drone flight over Hacienda Pinilla itself.
Yes. So basically, Hacienda Pinilla is one of the few beachfront luxury gated communities in our area. So, it's very well located because it's just south of Tamarindo, which makes, everybody happy, whether you're a tourist vacationing in the area or a family living here, because then it's close to schools and then all the conveniences which are located in the tourism hub of Tamarindo. Then why is it a luxury gated community? Well, because of its location, of course. Beachfront is a great location, but also because they have great amenities such as tennis courts, pickleball, which is now very popular as well, golf course, of course, beach club, and then, they have stables, a spa, and then they also feature the JW Marriott, which offers as well, extra rooms for your guests. Sometimes it's important to mention, and also various restaurants right on site.
Yeah, one of the not really insider tips about Hacienda Pinilla. So, here we're looking at just a flyover the community. It's enormous. I think there's 4,500 total acres, or, it's just an absolutely huge community. Everybody inside takes advantage of those JW Marriott amenities from time to time and sort of just hops over there to eat at the restaurants or sort of just sneak in a little bit. You can see the golf course. Really, that's one of the most unique aspects of Hacienda Pinilla because, thank goodness Costa Rica does not allow unlimited golf course development. They're really protective, and there are only a few golf courses in all of the Nicoya Peninsula. Hacienda Pinilla is really the only one that I can play personally.
Well, so the golf course, I think, is ranked number 3 on the whole country golf course. And well, a good thing about Hacienda Pinilla is that they have their own asada, which means that they have their own source of water on site. And they're also implementing a desalinization plant, which is also going to be great for what Matt was suggesting, that golf, of course, require a lot of water. So they have like this long-term, very thoughtful plan about the resources, which makes it also a very unique community.
Yeah, and as we're looking around the drone image here, you can see there's separation between the different neighborhoods in Hacienda Pinilla.
Yes.
It is not one single block of development. And in fact, what you're looking at below us right now in the drone is Hacienda Pinilla itself. However, you do have separation between neighborhoods because in legal reality, the community is actually a collection of different neighborhoods, like the one we're seeing down below us at this moment, which I think I was flying over. I think this is towards Las Brisas. However, regardless, each of the neighborhoods are connected by a circular internal road.
Yes.
And they each have their own management. So you really have individual communities that are then that work together as a single cohesive, community, but they are governed separately in their legal structure.
Yes, and they have their own, unique aspects as well. So whether we're talking about HOAs monthly, each residential has its own HOA. And also some of them are dedicated to only townhouses, some of them only single homes. So it's like small neighborhoods within the large, gated community, which is very nice because then when you experience it, sometimes you're like, oh, this is my favorite. I really like, this one in particular, whether it's for its location or for its, type of properties inside, or the gym or the community pool. So they're all very different.
Yeah, it gives you options for sure. Tell us a little bit about real estate in Hacienda Pinilla before, during, and after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, so before COVID, what I remember when I moved here in 2010 is that you had the beach club, for example, and you had to pay $15 to go there. And this was a credit to consume at the restaurant. Well, those days are over. So now, of course, before the pandemic, so then this would be an example. I would go with my kids, swim in the pool. And then, the lots, for example, would be $100,000 by then. It was way smaller than the images you see now. It was it was as big, but then way less developed. You had probably 2 or 3 residentials that had, a good amount of homes, but nothing compared to now.
Yeah.
Right. So then, of course, the pandemic. Well, Hacienda Pinilla, I have to say, is a very comfortable, turnkey way to have a place here to come and enjoy.
Yeah,
right?
For foreigners to feel like.
Yes, like if you were looking for your plan B, escape plan during COVID, then, you would have been definitely investing in Hacienda Pinilla because that would be, clean slate, very easy, usually legally also a smooth purchase. Because it's all straightened up.
Yep.
So we've seen a dramatic difference between the market before the pandemic and after the pandemic. This has been going on still because, well, let's face it, after COVID, we also have, a new clientele, maybe more of a luxury clientele here by the surfing areas south of Tamarindo, which we didn't have prior to COVID. So, well, of course, then the market has been pretty steady in these luxury gated communities because we have many people, looking for security and then those amenities, and also, for the kids to be able to have friends, in the neighborhood and bike, without thinking about, they're on the road or anything.
Yep.
So yes, so now basically you're looking at lots which are $500,000, right? If we're saying the big comparison between before COVID and nowadays. Well, by the way, there are new lots now available because there was a time in 2022 where we didn't have many lots available.
Well, yeah, and let's go back and touch on, some of that, to me, the dramatic pricing. And I apologize if you couldn't hear me before. I just realized my mic was out of battery, so I plugged it in. Hopefully people can hear us out there okay. Yeah, prior to the pandemic, lots in the $100,000 range. And in fact, we've pulled the data from these neighborhoods. Some of the townhomes, for example, in 2007, right before the fall, when we had our absolute top frenzy, some of those townhomes in Hacienda Pinilla were selling close to the same prices in pure dollar amounts that they are selling again today, simply because the frenzy was such an incredible boom. Especially for those turnkey condos back then. And the crash was so bad in 2010, really it took us back until 2019 and 2020 for places even like Hacienda Pinilla to sell their existing inventory and get back to a semblance of where they had hoped. So prior to the pandemic, you had tons of open space. And yeah, she remembers going to the beach club. It was like when we'd go to Lola's and there was no one at Lola's in Avellanas. Very quiet, $100,000 for a property. Nowadays, if there is a resale lot available in one of the existing neighborhoods, it's $350,000 to $500,000. And currently, home prices have done something very similar.
Yes.
One of the big dynamics that changed as well with Hacienda Pinilla, originally it was founded and developed by a man, Mr. Tillo, who bought the land as a ranch for his family. He had a very, sort of cohesive strategy and plan, was building neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood. Joe, the original developer, is no longer with us, and his children, what they've done differently is sell land within Hacienda Pinilla to different developers.
Yes. Well, I think the idea was growth, right? Because it's been in the family for a very long time, and it's been quite slow, at the beginning, until really they got the Marriott. I think the Marriott was a very good, move for them to get some more traction, because then, of course, they would have people staying at the Marriott and then look at properties. But of course, in a developing country just like Costa Rica, I mean, they had to exponent their sales, and so that's how they ended up opening the market and selling to developers who do now their own neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's been one of the biggest changes now, is seeing neighborhoods spring up in Hacienda Pinilla that are not built themselves by the developer. I wanted to step back. I probably should have brought this in earlier, just talk a little bit about the location here. Hacienda Pinilla is just south of the Tamarindo and Langosta tourism hub. It actually encompasses or stretches up to the southern tip of Playa Langosta. And then it really has all of the beach frontage along two small beaches known as Mansita and Bonita. There's some other little corners there, but it comes all the way down to Playa Avellanas. Yes. And so really you've got a single development that has monopolized that frontage along the coast.
Yes, so many beaches to choose from within the luxury gated community, of course. And some of the residentials also have their own beach, and are beachfront.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. Which technically the resident only of this residential would enjoy this beach. Yeah. So basically you have access to between 3 and 6 beaches, which are very nice, including Avellanas, which is Little Hawaii, a good surf break for the surf lovers as well. So you have, a space on the sand for anyone.
Now, so I did not bring this, I hadn't entered it into the stream. Now you're looking at Hacienda Pinilla on Google Maps here between Tamarindo and our location down here in Playa Junquial. To give you an idea, your next golf course in Guanacaste is up here at Reserva Conchal.
Yes.
Past that, you have to go all the way up to Playas del Coco, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, to hit another golf course.
True.
Or I'm sorry, the Papagayo Peninsula as well. So you can see there are 1, 2 golf courses up here, 3 and 4 in this stretch of coastline, which takes us about 3.5 or 4 hours. To cover that whole stretch would be a very long drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then out of Costa Rica, this is the most golf-heavy region I think that there is. Really, those 4 courses are the biggest concentration here, any sort of region in the country. So that's sort of a geographic idea of where it is. Now, what surprised me, you've been compiling current inventory in Hacienda Pinilla. Tell us a little bit about the current inventory and what is going on in the community.
Yes, well, there is quite a bit of inventory in Hacienda Pinilla as of today. So, so you have those townhomes, which are usually, if you're looking at an investment under $1 million, you will be looking at townhouses. So they are not called condos because they're literally like townhouses. They're usually spacious. And then, they have a community pool within this neighborhood. And then afterwards, you have, of course, a lot of single homes, family homes in those residential. So some of them are beachfront, some of them are more centrally located. And then now, which is pretty new to the market, you have quite a bit of land available because you have new developments that just rose, in Hacienda Pinilla. To mention one, for example, that just hit the market is El Jaguar, which is a new development with 50 lots, which half of them are already reserved. So yeah, that's a good example, of new lots available in good numbers, because for a few years, we just had 5, 6 lots here and there available within all the residentials. And now you have those new developments showing up and offering land, available. So then you can build your dream home if you're not into buying something already built.
So El Jaguar, the community we have up on the screen right now, is really represents an explosion of lot inventory for sale.
Yes.
And in fact, there are a couple projects where all of a sudden, like Camille was saying, we went from there being 1 or 2 resale properties in different existing neighborhoods to these new phases. And it looks like there's about 55 lots.
Yeah,
in
about
El
50
Jaguar.
lots, yes. One also is one of them, which is also about 50 lots. I believe they also have half reserved. And there is this new one also, which is a beachfront one, but then there, they sold out pretty fast. It's called Corrales. And then, they have a few resales already within the community, but this one probably potentially just sold out, very, very fast.
Well, so this project here right next to Hacienda Pinilla's Beach Club, this one.
So this one is Corrales, and then you have one next to the Marriott, which is 1, and then you have We're still here. But
We're still here, folks. We're gonna play it by ear.
Okay, here we are.
Here we are. We're switching cameras, and my apologies that suddenly happened. Here we're looking at Hacienda Pinilla again, and bringing up. So we've got the future location of Corrales, which is completely sold out.
Yes, and there are a few resales lots. If you're looking at no beachfront, as I know, but maybe the second row would be the first, closer to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have one which is right by JW Marriott.
It's this site, correct? Or is it this site, the one that's already open?
I'm sorry, I can't see. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, it's no problem. It's right next to the Marriott.
Yes, right next to the Marriott, you have one which is also about 50 lots. They're slightly smaller than the typical lots in Hacienda Pinilla. So, and then they have half of them which are not reserved yet. So feel free to reserve yours. It's pretty simple when you have a new development like this in Hacienda Pinilla. By the time they do all the infrastructure, what you can do in the meantime is reserve your lot with a simple reservation fee, and then you have payments as the milestones are made within the project. So it's basically an easy reserve process, and then I want to say worry-free, because then until you have those milestones done, and then you go to the next step.
Now, but I also heard in regards to inventory, you said you're finding a lot of listings.
Yes.
Especially of certain kinds of homes. How many? What kinds of homes? What sort of inventory is accumulating in Hacienda Pinilla?
Well, I want to say it's the single family home, which is between 4 and 6 bedrooms, because then the townhomes, being the most affordable in Hacienda Pinilla, they tend to go pretty fast. So there are not so many townhouses available on the market right now. That said, there are many single home houses right now is in all the residentials, whether they're centrally located or beachfront. There is a lot of inventory, especially for the 4 to 6 bedroom and up, right? Which are, of course, a more important budget property, and also bigger. So then that's targeted to people who want to host more people, or rent more, or have a big family.
And I was going to mention here again, all of this accumulating large single-family home inventory, it's represented by many different brokerages.
Yes.
And frequently, if you call sellers agents about their particular listings, you're going to get a pitch as to why that particular home is the best, its advantages, etc. You send someone like Camille an email, and she'll be happy to share the full inventory with you across all of those brokerages. And given her experience, touring different clients, working with people independently in Hacienda Pinilla, she'll give you really great advice on finding the best value and really identifying the price point that is not an over investment, which frankly, I think some people have accidentally spent a little bit too much in certain luxury markets in Guanacaste.
Yes, well, and it's very important to consider, it's been a solid market and the inventory is important, but also the sales are pretty good, right? Because it's a demanded area. Then, it's important to find the one that will fit the best your family, your situation, what you want to do with your property in Hacienda Pinilla. And of course, looking at comps and not only at listings is also, with real data, with the recent sales, is going to give you a very good, sense of whether this listing is well priced or not.
Absolutely. And something that she said there was incredibly key: comps and not listings. You will meet a lot of realtors who, when you ask them for more, so what's this price point look like? Or am I getting a good deal or bad deal? And honestly, the only thing they're going to be able to tell you is, well, the home over there is listed for $200,000 more, so this one is a good deal. Refuse to accept that answer, because using our national registry, you can pull comp data for neighborhoods specifically like Hacienda Pinilla. I wanted to try and bring up just a quick, let me see here if I can show you. maybe not without risking showing a bunch
and
of
also,
other stuff.
getting the, sorry, Matt,
No
also
problem.
getting the real information from the MLS, what closed at what price recently, asking, colleagues, because of course, then, we get along very well with all the other brokerages. So then we have the information, and then, it's very nice. Then you can actually see, compare the price of the listing of the home you're looking at.
Yep.
Basically, the price structure is also made by first the location of the residential. Of course, it's not going to be the same price range if you're in a beachfront residential or a non-beachfront residential, and then essentially, the size of the home, right? Because of course, a 3-bedroom is not going to be the same size and the same budget as a 6-bedroom.
Yeah.
So I think it's important also to figure out how many bedrooms you want, and again, that's going to depend on what use you want to do with your property.
So I wanted to mention, if here is the spreadsheet Camille is currently working with, compiling all of this data as to what is available on the market. And then we also have reams of data pulled from the National Registry on the closings that have actually happened in the community. Data that we can help leverage to give you information about smart choices and not just hyping up lifestyle and how great it would be. But what other sorts of tips can you provide to people who are interested in Hacienda Pinilla? What approach should they take to the community?
Well, so one very easy step to do, which you're probably going to come here to tour with us, right? So my recommendation would be that you actually rent a house or maybe stay at the Marriott, for your vacation. So then you really get to experience whether it's by yourself or with your family, even better, because then everybody can, enjoy it and experience really the life over there. I think this is very key. Then, thinking about, do I prefer a townhome where I have slightly more HOA fees, but then I don't have to take care of the pool, I don't have to take care of a garden myself, and this is taken care of by the HOA structure? Or would I prefer have, my bigger lot? So the lots usually are about 2,500 square meters, which is a little bit over half an acre. So then, if you're like, oh no, I prefer my privacy, I want my yard, I want my pool guy, I want my gardener, to take care of it. So this is really, I think, a big decision that has to be made also, or you can have an hybrid, which, are you showing this, Matt, right now?
Now I am.
so this for me is a hybrid, right? Which is basically a townhouse, but each of them have their own pool, right? And they also have a community pool. So this development, which is very recent and almost sold out, I think there are three or four units now.
Two.
I saw
the Instagram this morning.
Oh, nice.
And I was talking to Ryan. They had 4 of these Bosques de Pinilla villas for sale until this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, in the last couple of weeks, it seems like a whole plane load of people buying real estate got off the plane, came out to Guanacaste, and there's been just this burst of movement here late August, early September. But yeah, these Bosques de Pinilla units are exemplary of one of the new projects where an independent developer had their own idea for what they wanted to provide, and they built these 4-bedroom town, villas. They're homes that have separate walls. But basically you have no yard maintenance, no problems. You've got all the management of a villa or condo, but yes, you are your own standalone home in Bosques de Pinilla. Here you can see the layout. I wanted to bring up another property to sort of represent the larger, pure single-family home inventory for sale. Tell us about Reserva de Golf 89 here.
Well, so what I like about this one is the developer, the builder. The builder is Federico Bonilla, and he's been, a very high-quality developer inside Hacienda Pinilla for a long time. So I really always enjoy, the layout and then the quality, of course, of the build. what he did in this particular listing is that he kind of built 2 homes in one. So that gives you a lot of flexibility, whether you want to live in one and rent the other, or rent 2 separately, or have a giant family compound where you still have some part of the family in their own house, which is sometimes comes pretty handy, because when you move here, you have a lot of people visiting you. So it can be nice also to have a completely separate full home, right next to yours.
Yeah. Y mandamos saludos a Federico. Esperamos que les vaya muy bien en España. Federico, we hope it's going well for you and your family in Spain. Just a couple ideas there to give you what's on the market currently. You've got those $470,000 lots in El Jaguar. You've got townhomes where you could get a 2-bedroom as low as $575,000, you said. $575,000 for a 2-bedroom townhome, $1 million for those Bosques de Pinilla townhomes at a 4-bedroom level. If I want a home on a half acre,
yes,
with a pool, what's my minimum entry point right now in Hacienda Pinilla?
Well, I would say minimum 1.5 million.
Minimum 1.5 for their homes on a half acre with a pool, somewhere around the golf course, etc.
Well, and then of course you can also get a beachfront home for quite a bit over $10 million.
Yes, absolutely.
Which would be the real beachfront property. There are a few available as well.
If you're interested in that $10 million beachfront home, do be sure to email me, Matt, at CostaRicaMatt.com. Obviously, reminding everybody here, I forgot to mention, if you want general information about the real estate process here in Costa Rica, not so quite specifically focused on Hacienda Pinilla, do go to CostaRicaMatt.com and sign up for my V-book. It takes 2 seconds and you will get hours of information about the real estate process here in Costa Rica. Thank you very much for joining. Oh, what do you want to say?
No, I just wanted to add that one thing also, which is great about Hacienda Pinilla, is that you have this nice blend of, I want to say maybe 40% of people who live there year-round, right? So it's not only a touristy community, so your kids are going to make friends, right? Like we have lots of families in the schools, my kids' school, who live permanently in Hacienda Pinilla. So it's nice because it gives this community feeling that you cannot find everywhere. And also on the tourism side, then, it's such a easy, nice luxury vacation that I forgot what I was saying.
Is that it?
No, that
is.
It's rentable very easily. So usually you have a good return, on a property in Hacienda Pinilla. So then, it's easy to say, hey, look, either we want to purchase and live there, you can. But then if you want to purchase and just keep it as a second home, then you can rent it pretty easily. We can recommend you great property managers to do so for your property in Hacienda Pinilla.
Yeah, that's for sure. Despite accumulating inventory of certain items, Hacienda Pinilla is always going to be popular because of those amenities, because there are very few places that have that completely cohesive feeling where a neighborhood and kids on bikes, etc. And yeah, the rental income is always going to be solid.
Yes.
So if there are people, you're seeing that there are a lot of sellers of homes in Hacienda Pinilla, most of them are paying their bills through those rentals very easily. And most of them, because of the history of the community, are currently asking a healthy price that would, they're not in an absolute dire rush to sell. They're at a peak in the market that's a great opportunity for them. So in conclusion, get good advice, don't overspend, and contact Camille to know more about the real closing prices in Hacienda Pinilla. It's been a pleasure having everybody today. We'll always be back live next Friday. Feliz Día de la Independencia a Costa Rica este 15 de septiembre. Happy Independence Day to Costa Rica that is coming up here Monday. Really appreciate everyone joining me today. Burke, Pablo, have a good one. Adios.